How do Muppets actually work? Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the stuff you should think about. I'm your host, G. You know, I was thinking the other day, we've all watched the Muppets. We watched Kermit, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, Animal, Gonzo. And after a while, you kind of stop asking the question, how do these things actually work? Because when you're a kid, you don't really care. They're alive. That's it. But when you get older, you start wondering, wait a minute, there's gotta be somebody inside there doing all this. And the answer is, yeah, there is. Most Muppets are basically puppets that are operated from underneath the stage or from behind the set. A puppeteer sticks one hand up inside the head. Their hand becomes the mouth, their thumb moves the bottom jaw, and the rest of the fingers move the top part of the head. That's why the mouth looks so smooth when they talk. It's literally somebody opening and closing their hand. Now, some characters are a little more complicated. If you ever notice Kermit waving his arms around while he's talking, somebody has to control those too. And a lot of times, there are thin rods attached to the hands. Another puppeteer stands off to the side and moves those rods around while the main puppeteer does the voice and controls the head. So, you've actually got two people making one character come to life, sometimes even three. Now, here's the part I think is really impressive. The puppeteers aren't looking through the puppet. They're usually looking at monitors. Imagine holding your arm above your head for 5 or 10 minutes while staring at a TV screen, trying to make eye contact with another puppet that's being controlled by somebody else. That takes a ridiculous amount of coordination. And then you throw in the voice. Jim Henson wasn't just moving Kermit around, he was acting. He had to know when to pause, when to blink, when to tilt Kermit's head. Because those little movements are what convince your brain that Kermit is actually thinking. It's kind of funny when you think about it. A puppet doesn't have eyebrows, doesn't have facial muscles. They don't smile. Yet somehow you know exactly how it's feeling. That's not the puppet, that's the performer. Now, if you've ever watched behind the scenes footage, it almost looks ridiculous. You'll see people laying on rolling carts, people standing in holes cutting the floor, people with one arm stretched over their head for hours, people wearing black clothes so they disappear into the background. It's kind of organized chaos. And television has a lot of tricks too. Sets are often built several feet off the ground so puppeteers can stand underneath them. The camera is actually carefully positioned so you never see the people below. Sometimes the floor you're looking at isn't really the floor at all. It's basically a stage built over another stage. Even today's Muppets productions still use a lot of these same techniques. Sure, there's a little digital cleanup every now and then to erase rods or wires, but the characters themselves are still real puppets being performed by real people. That's one of the reasons they still have so much personality. They're not computer generated, they're being acted. And I think that's part of why they've held up for so many years. There's something about knowing there's a real performer behind that character that makes them feel more alive than something created entirely inside a computer. It's kind of amazing when you think about it. A little bit of foam, some fabric, a couple ping pong ball eyes, and somebody with enough talent to convince millions of people that a frog, a pig, and whatever Gonzo is are completely real. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Well, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for listening to The Stuff You Should Think About. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the podcast. And if you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, follow and leave a comment to help this podcast grow. Until next time, I'll catch you in the next one.